Now you represent quality data using flowcharts, logical data models to matrix diagram, mind mapping. Here's one, the SIPOC model, and this is an example from the PMBOK where we look at all the processes. Supplier processes and input to the supplier is providing input to the processes, providing output to the customer, and all these feedback loops. And the idea is that you can document each step of the way. SIPOC stands for suppliers, inputs, process, output, customers. SIPOC. Now, this is another really good way of looking at it, where we have our suppliers that provide input into the process, we the output that leads to the customers, and it analyzes what could break or what did break. That's what SIPOC is. Again, SIPOC, suppliers, inputs, process, outputs, customers. So the quality management plan includes quality standards, quality objectives that we're following, the roles and responsibility of people responsible for quality, deliverables and processes that are subject to quality review. What are we going to test? Plan quality control and management activities, tools, relevant procedures, and the processes we're going to follow to make sure we achieve quality. Managing quality is everybody's job. That's important. Everybody's responsible, and each aspect of the project will have someone who's looking at quality. Now, we want to assess our quality, and the data is represented in various ways. Affinity diagrams, quality issues might be grouped by similar types. Cause and effect, otherwise known as Ishikawa diagrams. I'm going to show this because it's a very important concept. Flow charts, histograms, we can picture that from our statistical analysis. Matrix diagrams, scatter diagrams. Again, a scatter diagram, we can plot those, very statistically oriented. Here is an Ishikawa diagram. This is a cause and effect diagram. Basically, what we do is we analyze these issues that might lead to poor product quality, fatigue, lack of training from a people perspective, process, maybe not enough R&D, not poor manufacturing methods, maybe in the environment, bad working conditions, poor low maintenance on the equipment, maybe old technology. My point is, it looks like the bones of a fish, doesn't it? That's why they call it a fishbone diagram. But I want you to know it as an Ishikawa diagram. It's very effective in assessing quality problems, right? And of course, the simple definition is cause and effect. Workers' fatigue and lack of training may impact the results leading to poor quality. And that is a cause you analyze because you want to improve the effect. You want to do away with the effect. That's why they call it cause and effect. Very important concept, very important picture. You definitely want to understand and remember about Ishikawa diagrams. Now, quality audits are structured independent processes to determine if project activities comply with organizational and project policies, procedures, and processes. Now, the thing that freaks people out about quality audits was two. One is the word audit always scares people, and it's understandable. The other thing is, who wants an external team to come and evaluate them? Okay, so I'm a big believer in quality audits. I've been through several in my career. Yes, in the beginning, I felt concerned as well. But if it's positioned correctly and done with good spirit and ethics, really it's meant to help, right? It's nice to have an objective observer or set of therein to help you by highlighting what's a best practice. This is under the includes. What is non-conforming, what the gaps and shortcomings are, sharing best practices from other projects in industry, proactively and positively offering assistance. And that happens with these audits. Part of the idea of doing them is that hey, how can I help? How can we get other resources to help you out to close these gaps, improve productivity? Highlighting contributions in the lessons learned, because the idea is it's supposed to be positive. Having a quality audit is not negative, but I can tell you, and there will be good contributions from it, and it's a good thing, and you want to capture that in your knowledge management processes of lessons learned. Thing is, again, you gotta, because teams will not welcome this because they're going to think it's Big Brother watching, looking over their shoulder. They're going to think, well, I have other work to do, and how much of this is going to take of my time, and so you have to really stage this correctly so that the team is of the right mind. In problem solving, it's pretty straightforward, but what we do with quality assurance is, what do we do when we find poor quality? We have to solve the problem. We have to assess and solve the problem. So here we go. The first step is defining the problem. The second and hugely important step, and the Ishikawa diagram helps us, among other things, flow charting, etc. Identify the root cause. Now that you have the root cause, number three, generate possible solutions. Choose the best solution. Implement the solution. That's key. The action is very important. You can devise solutions but never get around to implementing them. You have to do that and verify the effectiveness. You want to gather data to be able to assess your quality. People use checklists of you know have we of the steps they're taking or any quality issues. Check sheets are very important. They're so straightforward. They're used all the time. Normally it takes the form of an Excel spreadsheet, but it could take other forms as well. But you'll notice that these are defects in the left-hand column here, and then they're tested on different dates and tracked. And if obviously the bent issue is probably the most, well, it does have the most tally of instances. So that's probably the one we should be looking at first, followed by missing components and on down the line. And that's what a check sheet does for you. Now, statistical sampling is a statistical approach that allows you to take a random sample of a larger population in order to test the quality. Questionnaires and surveys are also very helpful. Inspection is a very, very key way of testing quality. This is examining a work product to ensure conformance to standards. And what you do in inspection is you capture the measurements that you've set out in the quality management plan. And it's conducted at all project levels. I mean, you have to inspect everything. And another word for inspection, or other words for inspection, are reviews or peer reviews or audits. So again, audits shouldn't be scary, or walkthroughs. Now, what about testing and product evaluations? These are organized, constructive evaluations that provide objective information. That's key, objective information about the product or service quality according to project requirements. And you really want to find bugs, defects, or other non-conformance problems here. You've probably all have done this in some way throughout your careers or your life. I mean, you observe if something's going wrong, a bug, a defect, non-conformance, you fix it. This is performed throughout the project as components become available. And I'm going to mention that if you find a problem early, fixing the problem earlier is cheaper than finding the problem later and fixing it late in the process. That's a fact. So try to set up your definitely not even try to set up your processes so you find quality issues and eradicate them